Dustin Johnson rounds off $35 million year with team win at LIV Golf finale. The madness of modern-day golf can be summed up by Cameron Smith. In 2022, the Australian has claimed the Players' Championship and a claret jug. His competitive year closed on the outskirts of Miami, where his punch side were edged out of LIV Golf's Steam Championship by 4 aces. A golf world shrugged shoulders. The victors were showered in champagne on the final green, representing a dubious irony. They should try that trick in Saudi Arabia, from where the money supporting LIV's disruption plan has emanated. Smith scored a 64 to prevail at St Andrews in July. David Faherty, one of LIV's appointed shills, screamed that a 65 here had to be among the finest rounds of the Australian's life. For the 4 aces, $4 million, £3.45 million each. A total of $34 million was distributed on day 3 at Doral. Dustin Johnson, Patrick Reed, Taylor Gooch and Pat Perez took the largest share of that. Smith & co. must settle for $2 million per person. On a day where aggregates counted, Smith's 7-under par was offset by Mark Leishman's 74, a 70 from Matt Jones and Wade Ormsby's 73. Johnson and his 3 chums all shot under par. Johnson has pocketed $35. 6 meters from on-course LIV pursuits in 2022. The whole season just got better and better, Johnson said. The YouTube viewing audience hovered around 60,000 as players jostled on the closing stretch. LIV may regard this as a success for a startup business, but the underlying sense is that a free-to-air product, it is also available via their own website, has not captured the imagination of the sporting public. Highlights of the All Blacks against Japan in Tokyo on Saturday yielded 585,000 hits on YouTube alone. Not that the scene was entirely worthy of ridicule. The galleries at Doral, especially in respect of following Smith and Johnson, would be more than acceptable for any mainstream tour event. The level of golf itself was impressive. It just felt as if nobody looking on really contemplated or cared about the bigger picture that LIV has tried so hard to push. Ari Fleischer, a former White House press secretary, patrolled the scene. So, too, did leading members of Saudi's public investment fund. A bomb scare halted play for 15 minutes at the 14th, during which time security services had to complete a sweep of the hole. Outside the gates of Doral, a lone protester held aloft a banner which read, "Trump's lies and LIV Golf agreed allows Saudi government to sports-wash crime." Those inside the compound, including agents, who have benefited more than most from this scheme, look the other way, but the ease with which the kingdom has breezed into the upper echelons of this sport remains concerning. Phil Mickelson was an onlooker, his Henry Flyers having endured earlier elimination. He took to the broadcasting booth, where he reflected on an awesome introduction to LIV Golf. "So much fun," the 6-time major champion said. Mickelson's situation remains the most preposterous of all, given his infamous comments relating to the scary motherfuckers he is now being paid by. Mickelson has lost sponsorship and even had to skip events celebrating the 150th anniversary of the Open. And the Stingers quartet of Brandon Grace, Charles Schwartzel, Henny du Plessis and Louis Oosthuizen exited Doral with $1 million per person. Which is hardly bad for a combined 10 over par. Grace shot 80. As this was unfolding, Jordan Smith was signing for a 63 to win the DP World Tour's Portugal Masters at an eye-catching total of 30 under par. Players in that domain will spend the coming weeks scratching to save or earn tour cards. The dollar signs will suggest otherwise, but somehow this still feels more significant. LIV has reached the end of year 1, an achievement in itself, but with questions swirling about the competitive value of what they have created. We have a small favor to ask. Millions are turning to The Guardian for open, independent, quality news every day, and readers in 180 countries around the world now support us financially. We believe everyone deserves access to information that's grounded in science and truth, and analysis rooted in authority and integrity. That's why we made a different choice, to keep our reporting open for all readers, regardless of where they live or what they can afford to pay. This means more people can be better informed, united, and inspired to take meaningful action.